As you can see here, there's an indicator. It's like a round circle with a glass cover. So most of the new battery nowadays come with a status indicator checker right here. So if you see a green circle here, that means the battery is in good healthy conditions.
I'll never forget the first time I watched a friend confidently turn down a mechanic's pricey recommendation. Just minutes before, that same shop had pressured him with an expensive safety fix that in reality wasn't needed at all. Most people would have given in out of fear, but he knew the exact lie they were using and saved over $800 in one visit. Today, you're about to learn the same secrets because there are 5 common lies mechanics rely on. Once you know them, you'll never fall for these traps again. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Number 1, the transmission flush trap. Ever been told your transmission needs to be flushed, or else you're risking catastrophic failure? That advice can sound terrifying, but it's also one of the easiest ways for a shop to charge you hundreds of dollars without real necessity. A flush is often presented as a life-saving service for your car, making you feel like refusing it is practically asking for a breakdown. The reality is much less dramatic. Most people assume every fluid-related service is part of standard car care, but if you take a closer look at most manufacturer maintenance schedules, a full transmission flush isn't even mentioned. Automakers do recommend fluid changes at certain intervals, but that's not the same as running high-pressure machines to force all old fluid out. In fact, flushing can push out protective additives and loosen debris that your transmission actually needs to stay balanced. Here's the key difference. A fluid change is a simple drain and fill. You replace part of the old fluid with fresh, keeping the chemistry stable. A flush, on the other hand, replaces everything all at once, which sounds thorough but can shock an older transmission and even cause shifting issues later on. So why do shops push flushes so hard? Because they cost far more, and the higher the price tag, the bigger the profit. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know when action is truly needed? The simplest answer is already in your glove box. Your owner's manual spells out the exact intervals for fluid service. And if a flush isn't listed, you don't need it. Stick with what your manufacturer recommends, and you'll avoid paying for an expensive procedure your car may never require. And this is just one example of how inflated repairs on major systems quickly become the most profitable lies you'll hear at the shop. Number 2, the brake job exaggeration. Imagine a mechanic warning you that your entire brake system is in danger when the only part that actually needs attention is the brake pads. That single swap can cost a few $100s, but a full system replacement with rotors, calipers, and fluid can add up to thousands. It's one of the most common exaggerations because brakes are tied so directly to safety, and shops know most drivers won't second guess anything that could compromise stopping power. What many people don't realize is that not every brake component ages on the same timeline. Pads are designed to wear down faster since they press directly against the rotors to stop the car. Rotors might last through several sets of pads before they require machining or replacement. Brake fluid has its own cycle altogether, often measured in years rather than mileage. Because these timelines don't line up, replacing everything at once is usually unnecessary. The fear tactic comes in when a tech highlights your estimate sheet. Picture them circling a note that says severe brake wear, implying immediate danger. You imagine grinding metal and total brake failure, yet in many cases those pads still have several millimeters of material left, enough for months of regular driving. A pad near end of life will be very thin, sometimes as little as 3 millimeters. By contrast, a pad with 6 or more millimeters left should not trigger an urgent system overhaul. The smartest move is simple: ask to see your actual pads. A quick glance tells you more than any estimate line could. If you can still see a decent amount of friction material, a pad only replacement or even just continued use might be all you need. Shops often use safety concerns to push bigger jobs, and they apply that same pressure on smaller routine parts too.
As you can see here, there's an indicator. It's like a round circle with a glass cover. Dots or a transparent colors on your battery. That means the car's battery is running out of its life, the cell is probably dead, and you will need to replace it. There is a red indicator right here. That means that the battery is running low, so you can recharge it and it still works.
Number 3, the battery swap hustle. Your car won't start, you're already frustrated, and then comes the kicker. The mechanic tells you your battery is dead and must be replaced immediately. In that stressful moment, you feel cornered, like you have no choice but to pay for a new one on the spot. It's the perfect setup for an upsell, and that's why batteries are one of the easiest targets in the industry. The reason this works so well is because batteries can fail without warning. Everyone knows the headache of being stranded, so when a shop suggests swapping yours out, just in case, it sounds reasonable. The trick is that many batteries have far more usable life than you're led to believe. Replacing them too early is a quick way for mechanics to generate profit by playing on your fear of being stuck somewhere with a dead car. What most owners never see is that battery health can actually be measured. A simple voltage test or a more precise load test can confirm if your battery is holding a proper charge under stress. These tests take less than a minute with a handheld meter, yet many shops will skip showing you the actual numbers. Instead, they insist replacement is the only safe option, leaving you in the dark. It's also worth knowing that batteries don't follow a one-size-fits-all timeline. Their lifespan depends heavily on age and climate. A battery in a hot region might wear faster than one used in mild temperatures, and a 3-year-old battery could still perform well depending on driving habits. Before you agree to a costly swap, ask for proof. A printed health report or second opinion can reveal whether your battery still has plenty of life left, and this push to replace parts too soon shows up even more often with smaller items like filters.
To the air filter box right here, and you'll see that there's a clip back in there and there's a clip on the rear side also. Have a peek underneath to see how dirty it is. This one is probably about 50%. I'm going to put that back in. Then just take the air filter cover and pop it up and pull it out like that. Then just grab the filter underneath and pull it out.
Number 4, the overhyped air filter swap. What if I told you one of the most common add-ons on a repair bill is often unnecessary? We're talking about the air filter change. Mechanics love to present it as an urgent need, even though it's a part that costs very little and installs in seconds. Because it's so cheap to stock and so simple to replace, it becomes an easy upsell that adds profit without taking much shop time. During an inspection, a mechanic might hold up a filter and show you some dirt caught in the pleats. On the surface, that looks like proof it should be swapped right away. The reality is different. A filter's job is to trap dust and particles, so seeing dirt means it's doing exactly what it should. A little discoloration doesn't stop airflow, and it doesn't automatically mean performance is suffering. Yet customers are often made to believe even a hint of gray or dust is a warning sign. And think of it this way: replacing a filter at the first sign of dirt is like buying new shoes every time you step in mud. They may look less than perfect, but they still function exactly the same. Unless the filter is fully clogged with debris to the point that light can't pass through, it can usually stay in service. Every vehicle comes with a recommended replacement interval spelled out by the manufacturer, usually tens of thousands of miles apart. That guideline is far more reliable than a quick sales pitch in the service bay. If you want certainty, hold the filter up to a light source. If you can still see sunlight through it, it's not done yet. Always trust the schedule in your manual before saying yes to an air filter swap, because the real money drainers are hiding in bigger items like your suspension. Number 5, the shocks and struts scam. Mechanics love to tell you your shocks or struts are worn out, and they have a good reason for it. This service can easily top $1,000. It sounds believable because suspension components do wear down, just not nearly as quickly as many shops claim. For most drivers, these parts last well past 75,000 miles, and sometimes twice that, depending on road conditions and driving habits. Still, the scare tactic works because suspension is linked to vehicle control, and no one wants to feel unsafe behind the wheel. That fear is exactly what shops lean on. A customer hears that neglecting struts could mean losing control at highway speeds, and suddenly the decision feels like life or death. But the truth is much less dramatic. Automaker guidelines don't call for routine replacement of shocks or struts at specific intervals. There's no rule that says change at 50,000 miles. Instead, they recommend inspection and attention only if clear symptoms appear. Signs like fluid leaking from the strut, clunking noises over bumps, or the vehicle bouncing excessively when pressed down are real reasons to act. Here's a common trick you might have seen: a mechanic pressing down on your car's bumper and then dramatically bouncing it to show failure. A slight bounce is actually normal. Modern suspension systems are designed to absorb movement smoothly, so what they're showing you isn't proof of a problem at all. If you really want to know the truth, look for uneven tire wear or visible oil residue around the shocks. Those physical signs give you far more reliable information than a staged demo on the service drive. The best rule of thumb is simple. Trust the symptoms, not the sales pitch. Unless you notice real handling issues or see leaks with your own eyes, a $1,000 suspension job is probably unnecessary. And scams like this all share one thing: pressure to hand over money long before it's truly needed. Most of the so-called urgent repairs you hear about aren't based on real needs. They're built on fear and your trust in the shop. That's why the smartest thing you can do is slow down, ask for proof, and check your manual before paying for anything. If the service isn't listed or the evidence doesn't add up, you're not required to agree on the spot. Mechanics rely on pressure and confusion, but you don't have to fall for it. Remember, every clear answer you demand keeps money where it belongs. Because knowledge isn't just power, it's money back in your pocket.